You're right in the middle of something personal, a dinner, a date, a moment of hard-earned peace. And the Omnidroid of your professional life starts tearing through the city. An emergency email at 8 p.m., a client crisis on a Saturday, a quick sync that eats at your lunch break. In Pixar's The Incredibles, there's a scene that lives rent-free in the mind of every high achiever. Lucius Best, Frozone, is watching a giant robot level the skyline from his window. He's ready to go. He's got his gloves on, but he can't find his suit. Why? Because his wife, Honey, has tucked it away. Lucius yells, "It's for the greater good!" And Honey responds with the line that shut down the entire superhero genre. "Greater good? I am your wife. I'm the greatest good you're ever going to get." Welcome back to Suit and Screen. I'm Lady Ray, and today we're focusing our lens on the Parr family and the chaotic world of The Incredibles. We're talking about the work-life balance lie. Because if you're trying to save the world while your home life is freezing over, you aren't a hero. You're just a consultant with a bad strategy. In the corporate world, we're taught to compartmentalize. We have our supersuit, the LinkedIn profile, the jargon, the polished pitch, and then we have our Bob Parr life, the chores, the family, and the actual human needs. Bob Parr's mistake wasn't that he wanted to be a hero. It was that he lied about the transition. He was neglecting his reality to relive his glory days. I see this in consulting all the time. Leaders who are so obsessed with the mission that they forget to check in with headquarters. When I started Genuine Radiance, I had to learn that my greater good wasn't just the clients I served. It was the boundaries I set. If you're sneaking off to do hero work, the overtime, the side hustles, the extra projects, without communicating with your team or your family, you aren't being a martyr, you're becoming a liability. So, are you hiding your supersuit from the people who actually matter, or are you bringing them into the mission? The most telling part of The Incredibles isn't the final showdown with Syndrome. It's the fact that Bob and Helen, Mr. Incredible, and Elastigirl were so out of sync that they both end up captured. They were fighting two different battles. Bob was chasing the past, and Helen was managing the present. And who saved them? The kids, Violet and Dash. The very people they were trying to protect from the business were the ones who had to fly the plane and break them out of the containment field. In business, your kids are your juniors, your interns, and your legacy projects. When the leadership is out of alignment, it's the ones at the bottom who end up cleaning up the mess. So, here's the Genuine Radiance framework for unified operations. First, we've got to sync that calendar, or as I like to refer to it, the Honey audit. You cannot be a hero or a worker 24/7. If your greater good is causing a localized disaster at home or with your mental health, your strategy is failing. Acknowledge the greatest good in your life before the city starts exploding. Then, the Edna Mode rule. No capes. Syndrome died because of a cape, an ego-driven accessory. In business, capes are the tasks we do just for the vanity of looking busy. If a task doesn't provide utility to the family or the firm, cut the cape. Last but not least, empower the juniors. Bob and Helen tried to bench the kids. Big mistake. Your team has powers you haven't tapped into yet. If you're trapped in a containment field of burnout, look to the people you're mentoring. They might have the fresh perspective needed to hit the reset button. Look at Bob Parr at InsureCare. He's a literal giant squeezed into a tiny desk being yelled at by a boss who is a fraction of his size. This is what happens when you prioritize security over purpose. Without a plan, Bob was miserable, not because he had a job, but because he was suppressed. But notice, when he finally went back to being a hero, he did it without telling his partner. Don't let your day job turn you into a ticking time bomb. If you're feeling squeezed into a cubicle that's too small for your talent, don't just sneak out to do side hustles. Build a transition plan that doesn't leave your civilians in the dark. All right, so what's our takeaway from The Incredibles? You can't save the world if your own house is under a 0-point energy field. Balance isn't a 50-50 split of your time. It's a 100-100 split of your presence. When you're in the suit, be the hero. When you're at the dinner table, put the mask away. The Parr family only won when they fought as a unit, kids included. Stop trying to be a solo hero and start building a super team, because at the end of the day, your career is the greatest good, but your peace, that's the greatest good. Identify your honey, the person or the piece that grounds you. Acknowledge when you're wearing a cape of vanity and cut it before it catches in the turbine. And most importantly, stop benching your team. Their powers might be the only thing that breaks you out of your next containment field. I'm Lady Ray. This has been Suit and Screen. Next week, we're auditing the 1997 hidden gem, The Sixth Man, to talk about key person risk. What happens when your star player, or main support system, is suddenly removed from the court? We're discussing the psychological shift from duo to solo leadership and how to manage the operational void when your right-hand person vanishes. Learn how to win the game when your secret weapon is no longer on the bench. Stay sharp, stay stylish, and never look back. It distracts from the now. I'll see you in the next scene.